Okay. Let me share my screen before proceeding. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah, thank you. So today what we are going to see, yesterday what we have seen is an introduction. So like what is DevOps, and we started from what is DevOps and what is SDLC. So where does SDLC, where does Docker and Kubernetes fits in SDLC process? And we have talked about the servers, what is physical server, and what are the disadvantages if we deploy our applications on the physical servers, and because of this disadvantages, why there is a requirement to move to virtual machines to deploy applications on the virtual machines, and what are the disadvantages that we have in case of deploying applications on the virtual machines like VMs. In this case we have seen in this diagram, and because of the disadvantage that we have with the virtual machine, deploying applications on the virtual machines, what is the requirement that we can go to the Docker. Okay, so so Docker, because of the Docker, if I deploy the applications with the help of Docker containers, there are some disadvantages with it, and then we are moving to Kubernetes. So in because of these reasons, we are moving to Kubernetes. Actually, these are all the things we have seen yesterday. Okay, so now today what we are going to see is how the industry uses this Docker and Kubernetes. Why I'm not like using Jenkins is because Jenkins is covered in a separate thing. Okay, so how the Docker and Kubernetes will be used in the industry, let's consider that first. Okay. Sorry. So suppose there is a developer. Let's think of, he is a developer and he has developed some code. He has developed some code and pushed this code into the GitHub repository, whatever version controlling system it is. So there are many version controlling systems available in the market. So one of the example is GitHub, and other one is Bitbucket, and some are like with GitLab we have. So there are many actually, like that. Okay, this developer will push his code to the GitHub repository. Let's assume the version control system as GitHub. So let me take as this is GitHub. Okay, GitHub. Okay. So he has pushed his code to the GitHub repository. He might have developed in any language. Okay, he might have developed in any language. Okay, whether it is Java, whether it is Python, or whether it is .NET, any language he might have developed, and he'll push this code to GitHub repository. Okay, now after this code pushed to the GitHub repository, what will happen is uh, with the help of that code, with the help of that code, uh, DevOps engineers or the people will be creating something called artifact. We'll call something called artifact. Okay, artifact is nothing but a zip file. Okay, suppose mm, in case of Java, we will convert this entire program that is developed by the developer into jar file. Okay, jar file, that is called artifact. Okay, artifact is nothing but a zip file in which our programs or our project will be present. Okay, that is called artifact. In case of Java program, in case of Java project, we will consider it as jar file. Okay, that is a jar file. This is something called artifact. Okay, this is something called artifact that is converted, that is our program, our like developed program by the developer will be converted into artifact actually. Okay, artifact. Okay, now after conversion of this artifact, what we will have, there are technical terms that I'm going to use, but like bear with me because I need to explain this, where the how industry uses Docker and Kubernetes, so that it will be very clear for you. Okay, so in the course it will be very clear of these terminologies, but here like it's a new terms, might be a new terms for you. Okay, so we will write something called Docker file. Okay, we will write something called Docker file. Okay, we will include this artifact in this Docker file, and we will write Docker file. Okay, Docker Docker file. Okay, see we will write something called Docker file, and we will include this artifact in this Docker file. What this artifact contains, our code, like developed code actually, and this artifact is included into the Docker file. What this Docker file contains? The of code, like developer's code. Okay, that's how it works. And from this Docker file, we will create something called Docker image. Okay, we will create something called Docker image. Okay, we will create something called Docker image. In this Docker image, our code will be present. Okay, developed code will be present, developers code will be present. Let me put here, it is docker image, we call it as. These are the new words. We will go through each one by one when it comes to Docker. Okay, we will go there. Okay, so this is the Docker image. From this Docker image, what the people will do, this Docker image is pushed to something called Docker Hub. Actually, it is pushed, this Docker image is pushed to something called Docker Hub, which stores multiple Docker images. So this is called Docker Hub. Okay, please bear with me because many technical terms. It will be very clear when we talk about the Docker and the related things. Okay, so yeah, so this image is pushed to Docker Hub. Okay, it is uploaded to Docker Hub. Okay, so what this image contains is our application. Okay, so this Docker Hub, from this Docker Hub, there will be a Kubernetes cluster. Okay, from there will be a Kubernetes cluster. What is Kubernetes cluster? It is combination of multiple machines. It is a combination of multiple machines. Okay, multiple virtual machines actually. Okay, these are called this is called Kubernetes cluster actually. So this is,
I'm sorry, I have one doubt.
okay,
In each virtual machine has a separate OS.
each virtual machine has a separate OS. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so no, in the Kubernetes cluster, okay, what we will have is all the virtual machines will be having same OS actually. That is Linux OS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
What?
VMware.
No. Linux is separate operating system, not VMware. VMware is a virtualization software. We will it helps us to create different virtual machines, but it's an operating system. Like it may be Ubuntu, it may be Linux, or it may be CentOS or SUSE. This kind of operating systems will be present on the Kubernetes cluster virtual machines actually, not VMware.
Okay, thanks.
So that's the thing. So this image is uploaded to Docker Hub, right? This image is uploaded to Docker Hub, right? So the image which is uploaded to Docker Hub will be downloaded by the Kubernetes cluster, and it will be running as the image will be running as a container or pod, we'll call it as. Our application will be running inside the Kubernetes cluster actually. This is our application. Okay, let me put it here. This is our application. Okay, this is our application which will be running, which is developed by the developer actually. So what it will happen in the industry, first developer will be developing the code and pushing his code to version control system, that is GitHub. Okay, once the developer has pushed his code to GitHub, so an artifact will be generated. So artifact will be included in the Docker file, and this Docker file is converted. How to write this Docker file, we will see in the course. How to write this Docker file, what are the different keywords that are available to write this Docker file. So that's such kind of things we will see in the course. This Docker file is converted as Docker image. This Docker file is converted as Docker image. From this Docker image is pushed to Docker Hub. This Docker image is pushed to Docker Hub, and the application will be there in this Docker image, that which is pushed to Docker Hub, and the Kubernetes cluster will download the Docker image from the Docker Hub and run it as an application on the Kubernetes cluster. So this is how the industry uses Docker and Kubernetes to deploy the applications on the Kubernetes cluster. And where does Jenkins come into picture? Where does Jenkins comes into picture is in this place. Okay, at this place. Okay, let me at this place actually. This place, like creating artifact and executing Docker file, converting it as Docker image and pushing it to Docker Hub and deploying it to like Kubernetes cluster. So this is a manual process before Jenkins. Okay, this is a manual process that we need to do before Jenkins. But when Jenkins has come into picture, all these steps got into automated way. Okay, that means when a pipeline is executed automatically, all these steps like creation of artifact, converting it to Docker file and converting to Docker image and pushing the Docker image to Docker Hub and deploying that Docker image to Kubernetes cluster will be automatically done by Jenkins pipeline actually. So everything is automated. How to automate that thing using the declarative pipeline, we are going to see in the Jenkins course actually. So everything we'll do as a project and as a individual steps also with clear explanation and clear thing actually. So any questions please regarding this process?
No, that is clear.
Yeah, okay, thanks
Thank
for that. So this is how the industry uses Docker, Jenkins and Kubernetes in order to deploy their applications into the Kubernetes clusters. So that is how they do. Okay, so now what's the next one what we are going to see is how to create an AWS account. I have told you in the beginning classes you need to create an AWS account for the practical sessions or like, yeah, how to create an AWS account. Now you need to go to aws.amazon.com. Okay, go to aws.amazon.com, click on sign in to the console, click on sign into the console. Yeah, here you will be having create a new account, create a new AWS account. Click on that because I have an AWS account already. So I like, yeah, so click on the create a new AWS account. So here you need to give user email address. That means unique email address that you have. Okay, unique email address that you have. It should not be like, it should not be used before, like anywhere before creating AWS accounts. It should be unique email address that you have. And if you are you need to give account name here and proceed forward. Because I don't have the unique email address, I am unable to show you now. Because yeah, it is as easy as creating your Facebook or Insta accounts. So that is as easy as that. Okay, one important step in creation of this AWS account will be like, it will ask for a card details, your bank account card details for the verification whether it is right person or not. And it will debit 2 rupees from your account, and then it will recredit once the account is created properly. It is recredited to your account actually. So to your bank account, I mean to say. So that is the important step that you need to follow. But without like approval, any money will not be debited from your account. Okay, that's what I mean to clarify that. Okay, once the account is created in the AWS, it takes 24 hours. 24 hours, officially they told like 24 hours, but it will be happening before 24 hours only to act to for that account to be activated actually. So like that's the thing. Okay, if you want before itself to activate your AWS account, you can contact AWS support or you can contact those people so that they will be activating your account prior itself with like without waiting for them to activate actually. So that's how you need to create an AWS account. So that's the thing. Okay, it's just do not worry. It's as simple as you are creating a Facebook or Insta accounts. It's very easy. So like providing your details and like name, like passwords and username, something like that, and then just click on next. Just create an AWS account. That's it. Okay, now after creating an AWS account, okay, now how to sign into the AWS accounts. Let me go there. Go to the sign into the AWS account like aws.amazon.com. Okay, now click on do not select IAM user, click on root user only. There are two options that is there here. One is root user, other one is IAM user, that the other one is IAM user actually. Click on root user, not the IAM user. Just click on next. Okay, it will ask for the password which you have given, like which you have given when you which like when you are creating the account actually in the previous step. Okay, so click on enter your password here, click on sign in, click on sign in. Okay, this is your AWS management console. Okay, this is your AWS management console, which looks like actually. So here we will having something called regions. Okay, we will be having something called regions. Okay, click on AP South 1 Mumbai region, click on that. Okay, actually, so click on that, so you will be going into Mumbai region actually. Now what you need to do here, search will be there. Search for EC2 EC2 service actually. There are many services in the AWS, so search for EC2 service, click on that service. Okay, click on that service. Okay, now in the left hand menu there is, let me increase the font size please. So yeah, so in the left hand menu there are many options that you have, you can see here. Okay, on this menu, click on key pairs. Here you can see under network and security, this is the network and security that you have. Under this network and security you have something called key pairs. Okay, you have something called key pairs, click on that key pairs. Okay, just click on that key pairs. Okay, once you click on that key pair, in my case all these key pairs are showing for me, but in your case it will be empty, this screen will be empty. For you what it will show is no key pairs available, something like that it will show. Okay, now create a key pair. Now create a, you here you have something button called create a key pair. All these things you will be provided as a document. Okay, once you join this course. Okay, so create a key pair. Okay, create a key pair. Okay, so now give a key pair a name, key pair a name, just give any name that you want. Okay, just give any name that you want, and do not change any option here, do not change any option here. Click on create a key pair, create a key pair in your case, but I am not clicking here, but just you click on create a key pair. There is some file will be downloaded into your local machine. Save that file, like save that file in a safe manner, and wherever you prefer, just save that file in your local machine. Actually, when you click on this key pair, a file will be downloaded into your local machine. Local machine means your local laptop. Okay, so just download that file. Okay, then like save it in a safe place actually. So that's how you need to do. Once key pair is created, once key pair is created, your key pairs will be shown here, your created key pair will be shown here. Why this key pair is used, why this key pair is used? In order to log in into a virtual machine, let me put it here in a diagram. Suppose this is my virtual machine. What is virtual machine? I have told you, like in one physical machine the many virtual machines will be there, or something like that. I have told you in the previous class. Okay, so in order to log in into this virtual machine, in order to enter into this virtual machine to perform some actions, some actions, we need a key pair, we need a key pair actually. So key pair means something called password, which is used to log in into this virtual machine, that is called key pair. Okay, key pair, that is password. Okay, which is used to log in into this virtual machine. Okay, now this is a key pair creation, just it's a key pair creation. These are all the key pairs that is there with me now. Okay, now how to
I'm
create.
sorry,
Yeah,
I have one doubt.
yeah.
Each key pair has each virtual machine.
No, you can attach one key pair to many virtual machines. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, each key pair is not required, like you can attach one key pair into multiple virtual machines. Okay, so I have created individual key pair, but you can do in that way. Okay, no problem with that. Okay, so yeah,
Yes.
yeah. click on instances. Okay, this is key pairs. In the same menu, on the top, there is something called instances. What is instances? We have talked about virtual machines, right, yesterday. These virtual machines only called instances in the AWS account. Just click on the instances. Okay, in the instances. Okay, this screen will be appeared for you. This screen will be appeared for you. So in my case, there are 3 virtual machines that are running in my AWS account, but in your case, there will be no virtual machines because you have created your AWS account for the first time, right? So there will be a no virtual machines in your case, right? So how to create a virtual machine? Okay, how to create a virtual machine is something like that. Okay, launch instances. Click on launch instances. Okay, click on launch instances. Okay, give your, this screen will be appeared when you click on launch instances actually. Okay, give a instance a name. I am giving instance a name called test, oh sorry, demo. I am giving a name called demo. Okay, which type of operating system you want to run in those virtual machines, in those instance? Okay, that you can select here. There are many operating systems. You can see Amazon Linux, okay, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, SUSE, or like Debian, like something like that. I am using Ubuntu operating system. I am using Ubuntu operating system. Okay, that's what. Okay, now you can select this one, instance type. Okay, this instance type you need to select. Okay, because you need to fall under the free tier. Okay, you need to fall under the free tier. I am using t2.micro. This is something called, we will having instance types in the AWS. Okay, t2.nano, t2.micro, t2.small, t2.medium. Okay, different instance type will give us different capacity of the virtual machines actually. So t2.micro has 1 CPU, 1 GB memory, and t2.medium has 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory, something like that. Okay, but I am using, I should fall under the free tier, or and you should also fall under the free tier, so that you need to use t2.micro. Okay, t2.micro. Okay, click on the t2.micro, click on this t2.micro and go down. Okay, that is how you need to select actually. So yeah, t2.micro you need to select. And here key pairs, we will be having something called key pair section, which we created earlier. Okay, in you will be creating earlier. I have not created because I already have a key pair. Okay, in your case, you should create a key pair. Okay, now here key pair is there. Here key pair is there. You need to select the key pair. Just click on this drop down box. Okay, you need to select any one of the key, that key pair which you created in the earlier step will be listed here, and select that key pair as part of this actually. I am selecting my key pair. Okay, now select existing security. We will be having in the network settings, we will be having two types: create an security group and select an existing security group. Click on select an existing security group, and I am selecting there. When you click on this drop down list box, there will be a default security group that will be there. Click on that default security group and go down. No need of changing anything. Only these things only you need to change. What are the things you need to change? Give the name and select the operating system, and t2.micro you need to select, and the key pair you need to select, and the select existing security group with the default security. Select this default security group. That's it. Okay, no need of changing anything. Okay, just click on here right side, you can see launch instance. Okay, launch instance. Click on this launch instance. Okay, now view all launch instances. Okay, view all. Click on this view all launch instances. You can see demo instance is been launching. It's been creating actually. You see it is in pending state. Okay, because we need to give it some time so that it will be created actually. It will be created. Okay, it is in running state, and here you need to see like 2 by 2 checks passed actually. This is performing health check, status check, that means. Okay, so let's wait for some time until this completes. It takes some 1 minute to 2 minutes, something like that. Okay, it is initializing, it will complete. Any questions you have, please? Here is the refresh button you have. You can click on this.
So one key pair that is belongs to multiple instances also, right?
Yes, yes.
One key pair means one application.
No, key pair means it's a password which is used to enter into that virtual machine.
Okay. So
Suppose if you want to log into your any account or your Facebook account, you need a password, right? So
yes.
in the same way, if you want to log in into this virtual machine, you need a password, that is key pair. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So in virtual machines, so how I can deploy more number of applications, right?
Yes, yes, you can deploy multiple applications as a Docker containers. Yes, you are right.
Yeah, Docker images like that.
Yeah, we are going to do that in the course. Okay, multiple containers we are going to create. Okay, now this is the this is the demo like virtual machine that is created. You can see how to check this health checks. It should be in running state, and it should be something like this: 2 by 2 health checks passed, 2 by 2 checks passed, actually something like that. Okay, now how to log in into keypair, how to log in into this virtual machine, I mean to say, not a keypair, sorry, it's a virtual machine. How to log in into this demo virtual machine is something like this: select that checkbox, select that checkbox, and above you can see like connect. Okay, you can see that connect, actually just click on connect. Do not change anything. Again, you can see connect, just click on connect. Yeah, you have logged in into the virtual machine, or like we will call instance. See, instance, virtual machine, or anything is like it's a same thing. Okay, so we are referring to same thing actually. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, we have logged in to the Ubuntu virtual machine. You can see Ubuntu. Okay, so we have created Ubuntu virtual machine, and we have logged in to the Ubuntu virtual machine in the same way. So each one of you, like you may have Linux, or like Linux machines, or Linux laptops, or Windows laptops, or Mac laptops. So each one, like, it's a common way to log in into virtual machine for everyone actually. So click on this checkbox, click on connect, and when you click on connect, there will be another connect will be there. Let's click on that. It's a common way for everyone. So because there are different processes for different, like for Windows, Linux, and Mac, so that I don't want to confuse you, and just click on this connect, something like that. Then you will be connecting to the virtual machine in the new tab of your Chrome browser. Okay, it's a common way for everyone. Okay, just here you can enter commands here, something like that. Okay, this is your terminal that we call it as. Okay, so this is a virtual machine terminal. Okay, so that's a thing, that's a how you can create virtual machine. How to create: first create in your AWS account and sign into your AWS account, and you need to go to EC2, like EC2 service. Once you go to EC2 service, you need to create a key pair. Once you created a key pair, you need to create an instance. So what are the things you need to select in your creation of the instance? One is the name, other one is the operating system, other one is a capacity, like t2.micro, something like that. You need to select that, and you need to select the key pair, and you need to select the security, like security group thing, which is existing security group, which I have shown earlier. And just click on launch instance, click on launch instance. Once the status, like once it is in running state, and 2 by 2 health checks passed, which I have shown earlier, like this one. Once it is in running state and 2 by 2 checks passed, how you can log in: click on this checkbox and connect. That's it. That is how you can log in to the virtual machine. That is how you can log in to the virtual machine. Okay, so this is how you need to proceed further. Okay, so once this virtual machine is launched, in the future classes, this is we launched, right? In the future classes on this virtual machine, we are going to install Docker, and we are going to deploy our like our applications on the top of Docker as a containers. What is container, we will see. Okay, no problem. Okay, like that we are going to like move forward actually. So that is how. Okay, now before proceeding with the Docker installation and Docker things, you need to understand the Docker terminology. Okay, before that, before going to the forward, like if you have any questions, you can ask before going to Docker terminologies.
I am fine then.
Yeah, thanks for that. So yeah. Okay, now if you don't have any questions, let me move forward. So there are different terminologies in Docker, like we are calling the instance we created, virtual machine we created just now, right? We are calling virtual machine, right? So we will not call virtual machine in case of Docker. We'll call something called Docker host. Okay, what are those terminologies? That there are different terminologies. First you need to call. First you need to understand what are those terminologies. What is Docker host? What is Docker container? What is Docker image? What is Docker registry, and what is Docker daemon, something like that you need to understand first. Okay, now what is first one? Docker host. First terminology that you need to understand is Docker host. Okay, what is the Docker host? What is the meaning of Docker host? Okay, the Docker host means like the machine, the virtual machine VM, or the machine or any machine, the any virtual machine or any machine on which the Docker is installed. Okay, is installed. Okay, on which the Docker is installed is called Docker host actually. Okay, what we call as Docker host? The virtual machine or the machine on which the Docker is installed is called Docker host, we call it as. From tomorrow we don't call this as a virtual machine or a instance. Actually we call the created instance as a Docker host, because we are going to install Docker on this virtual machine. Actually on this virtual machine, that time like we need to call it as Docker host in the Docker terms actually. So that's the thing. Now what is Docker Docker registry? Okay, Docker, before going to Docker registry, we'll talk about Docker image. Okay, what is a Docker image? Okay, Docker image, it's nothing but a binary. It's a binary. It's a binary. What is a binary? Let's talk about that. Okay, binary two in which our applications will be present. It is in which our applications will be present, but they are not in running state. They will not be running. Okay, they will not be. Okay, they will not be running. What is Docker image? Docker image is a binary or a static file in which our applications will be present, but they will not be running state. Actually they will not be in running state. Okay, let me put it here, in running. They will not be in running state. Suppose if you want to play any game, okay, or any game. Okay, what you will be doing? You will be downloading that game binary like .exe file or something which is executable from the internet, right? You will be downloading, and what you will be doing, you will be double clicking on that game on your local laptop. So the game will be opened, right? The game will be opened in the same way that file which you are downloading in order to double click, that file is called a binary that you are downloading. Okay, that when you double click that binary, you are like a game is being opened. So in the same way, that binary in case of Docker is called Docker image, in which the game is present. See, in the binary also which you downloaded from the internet, a game is present, but it is not in running. It is not running. When you double click on that only, the game is opened, right? So in the same way, Docker image also contains our applications. When you execute the Docker image, when you execute the Docker image, that only that will be that our applications will be running actually. So until and unless you don't, you will not, if you do not execute the Docker image, the applications won't be running. So that's the thing. Okay, that is Docker image. Docker image means our applications will be present in that Docker image, but it's a binary in which our applications will be present, but not in running state actually. That is Docker image. Okay, is that clear? Docker image?
Yeah, in Docker image, I think we have some included our jar and war files also, right?
Yes. The jar files and war files were included in that Docker image. And when you run the Docker image, your application will be running whatever the application that is present in jar file. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's the thing. So what is Docker daemon? Okay. First, let's think about Docker container. What is Docker container? Okay, what is Docker container? When you run this Docker image, that becomes the Docker container in which our application will be in running state. What is the Docker image? It's a binary in which our application will be there but not in running state. But Docker container means a container in which our application will be in running state. Okay, how to run this Docker container? Let's see in the course. But yeah, that is, it's a container applications will be in running state. Okay, this is the Docker container that we call it as. Okay, now that is Docker container, Docker host, Docker image, Docker container. Okay, so now this is the things actually. So yeah, what is Docker registry? Docker registry. Okay, what is Docker registry? Okay, Docker registry means we have created a Docker image. The Docker image is there. To store the Docker image, some place is required. So you have developed some code, right? To store that code, some place is required, right? That is GitHub. Okay, you will be pushing that code to GitHub or Bitbucket or any VCS, any version control system, right? So you need some space, some place to store that code. Okay, so in the same way, you need some place to store the Docker image. So that place is called Docker registry. Okay, that place is called Docker registry. There are two types of Docker registries actually. First type is, like, let me put it here. First type is public Docker registry. Okay, second type is private Docker registry. First type is public Docker registry. Second type is private Docker registry. Okay, what is the difference between these two? If you store your Docker image into public Docker registry, that means that Docker image will be accessible to anyone in the world. Anyone can access your Docker image, which is stored in the public Docker registry. If you store your image into private Docker registry, who has the access? Only you. If you only your organization who has the access to that private Docker registry only can able to access the Docker image. Not anyone in the world can access. Only who has access permissions to the Docker registry will be only able to access this Docker registry. Okay, this Docker registry, that is private Docker registry. What is Docker registry? A place where we store our Docker images. Okay, let me put like that. Place where we store Docker images actually. So that is Docker registry. There are two types. two types. One is public and one is private. Now, what is public? If you store the Docker image into the public registry, that means it is available to everyone. Anyone can able to download and use the Docker image. Okay. So if you store the Docker image into the private registry, only you people or your organization who has the access to that registry will only be able to access that Docker image, and it will be only be able to use that Docker image. So that is the Docker. So that is a Docker, private Docker registry. Now, what is the next terminology that we have? Okay, Docker will have Docker daemon. Okay, Docker daemon. Okay, Docker daemon. What is a daemon in the OS operating system? Like OS terminology, what is a daemon in the operating system terminology is, so a process, a background process that is running is called daemon. Okay, a background process that is running is called daemon. Okay, that's a process is called running is called daemon actually. So like, so in the case of Docker as well, there is some process, so there is some application which is running in the background. Okay, while executing your commands, like Docker commands, there is some application, there is some process. When we install Docker onto the virtual machine, there is some software which is running in the background, which will accept our Docker commands we are which we are executing. So that software is called Docker daemon, a background process. Okay, we will be seeing where it is running, how we can see systemctl status Docker, something like that we'll use to see the Docker daemon, whether it is in running state or not. We'll see when we install Docker into the virtual machine. This one, that is called Docker daemon. Docker daemon is nothing but a background process, background software which is running, background software running in the virtual machine, that is VM. Okay, VM, that is called Docker daemon. Okay, Docker daemon. Okay, now is that clear? Like, it will be clear. There will be some confusion, I know, like because of the Docker daemon. So it will be clear when we install Docker and when we go through the Docker things. Actually, I'll be show you people there actually. So that's a Docker daemon. Okay, now Docker client. What is Docker client? A Docker client means the place where you are executing the Docker commands. Okay, there will be a Docker commands. Okay, you need to execute in order to run your application, in order to deploy your applications. So that commands, the place where you are executing Docker commands is called Docker client. Actually, here in this virtual machine, suppose I want to connect to this virtual machine, just connect, click on connect. Okay, now here Docker is not installed. It will throw an error because the Docker is not installed. Just bear with me. So just clear the screen. Okay, now see, I am executing Docker thing. Okay, I am executing Docker, right? So this place is called Docker client. Okay, this place is called Docker client, from where we are executing the terminal, we are executing the Docker commands is called Docker client. Okay, that is called Docker client. Okay, the place where we are executing commands is called Docker client.
Like CMD.
Yeah, CMD. Yeah, you're right. CMD. Yes, because yeah, that's the thing. CMD. So these are the different terminologies that you need to know before proceeding with the Docker. There are many actually, but yeah, basic thing you need to know, like this is Docker host, like this is Docker image, we call it as this one is called Docker container, we call it as what Docker registry, like what is Docker registry, what is its functionality, so what is Docker daemon, okay, so something like that, what is Docker client, why we call it as Docker client, so something like that you need to know. These are the different things you need to know as a the first step actually. So that's the thing. So now how to create this Docker registry? You need to create an account. That's a free account, no need of worrying. There's a free account you can create. Go to browser, click on hub.docker.com, hub.docker.com. Okay, click on hub dot, search for hub.docker.com. I mean to say, just search for that. Okay, this console will be opened. This console will be opened. Click on sign up. Okay, click on sign up here. Click on sign up. Give your email address, give your email, like username, give your password. Okay, just click on sign up. That's it. That's it. Your account will be created. Or you can use auth, like this one. Continue with Google and continue with GitHub in order to log into this docker hub.docker.com account. Actually, now how to log into this? Click on sign in. Click on sign in. Okay, now I have signed into my Docker Hub account. This is how the UI looks like. There are multiple images that is there with me. Like these are the different images that is there with me actually. So Swiggy or custom Ubuntu, student store, Ubuntu volume, TT, the data store, something like that. Okay, so there are multiple images. It is there in my account. So just in this manner, you need to create your Docker Hub account in order to store. What is Docker Hub account? You need to, like, for the storage of Docker images that we create actually, that is Docker Hub account. So this is a Docker Hub account. So this is a public Docker Hub account, and you can also create in AWS. So in AWS, just for your reference, I am showing in AWS there is something called ECR. This is a private registry. Only you can access. Anyone will not be able to access. The private container registry, or ECR. Once you create an account, it's a free, no need of like, it will not be charged anything. Click on in the left hand menu, click on repositories and create a repository and give your repository a name, whether you want it to be public or the private. You need to select this button, give a name and click on create repository. That's it. Your repository will be created. Okay, let me give a test name. Okay, so just click on create repository. That's it. Okay, your repository will be created like this. Okay, you can push your Docker images to this test repository. So something like that. Just I don't want to use this. I want to use only the hub.docker.com. So you can also use anyone, your choice. That is okay, whether it is hub.docker.com, whether it is AWS ECR. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Just I want to delete this.
I have one doubt.
Yeah.
If I create the Docker image in hub.docker.com, how can we push it to the cloud environment?
Yes, yes. See, once you created, okay, let me create one more time and show you. Once you created, just click on try create registry.
No,
select this. You will be having
cloud.
something.
Okay. Also we have registry.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Windows also we have registry in OS. Actually in our systems. That is a registry. So every application what we are running, they store there in registry also. Here also, I think in Docker, Docker not in in AWS, we have docker.com, right? Dockerhub.com. Right? We can push the Docker images that place. Okay, right?
Yes, yes, you can push anywhere. That's what I'm saying. That is your choice. Okay, that is your choice. Whether it is a here ECR or whether it is a Docker Hub, anywhere, that's your choice. But I am using, I will be using hub.docker.com. Okay.
So how can we integrate dockerhub.com into the image AWS? Then when we run into the AWS,
you cannot integrate Docker Hub and the AWS. You can integrate your local, you can integrate your local machine and the Docker Hub, and you can integrate your local machine, means your local laptop, into the ECR. But this Docker Hub and like this Docker Hub and AWS cannot be integrated together, because something like that. Okay, they cannot be integrated together. Okay, whether you need to push your images to the like ECR, or whether you need to push to the images to the hub.docker.com. Anyone you can choose and push your images. You cannot integrate both of them. Okay.
So how AWS uses that images?
How the AWS uses that images? So when you install Docker, into the EC2 machine, automatically Docker knows to pull the images from the hub.docker.com only. You no need of configuring anything for downloading the images or downloading your image application images from the hub.docker.com. It automatically knows that is part of installation of Docker.
Okay, thank you. So when you install Docker, we can create multiple Docker containers, right?
Yes, you can create multiple Docker containers.
So each container is a separate application we can able to deploy, right?
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So that's how you need to create. You need to create first hub.docker.com and account in the hub.docker.com to push images actually. So this is a private, like your images unique, you can push. If you want to use the existing images also, click on explore. You can, suppose I want to use the nginx. Okay, nginx image, this search for nginx. There will be a nginx is an application which is given to us by the Apache. So you can use this nginx image into as a Docker. This is a nginx image, and you can use this nginx image in your like run it as a container in your like in your Docker host actually. So how to download Docker pull nginx? Okay, I have not installed Docker yet. Just tomorrow we are going to install Docker, and we are going to pull the nginx image from this hub.docker.com and execute this nginx image as a container. Okay, that's what we are going to do tomorrow. And if many images, like not only nginx, if you want to download MySQL is a database, so MySQL image will be present. If you want MongoDB, okay, MongoDB image is present. So something like that. If you want Tomcat, okay, Tomcat, okay, let me go here. 1 second. Okay, the Tomcat image is present. If you want a BusyBox, okay, there are different, like BusyBox image is present. So something like that, many images are present already in the hub.docker.com. We are going to use that, and we are also going to create our own images and push to hub.docker.com, and we are going to perform such actions. So something like that we are going to do. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, now any questions you have, please?
Each image is a Docker container, right?
Each image you can run as a Docker container. Yes. Is that clear?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So once more I am telling, this sessions what we are running now will be moved to 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. after some days, like after 5 to 6 days. That's it. Okay, just I want to clear that thing with you.
Yeah, sure. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we are going to create something called Telegram group. Okay, once you join that session, once you join the thing, we are going to create a Telegram group, and you people are going to like join the Telegram group, so that if you have any questions related when you are practicing, or when you are doing anything, or like when you are running containers, or when you are deploying applications, whether it is Kubernetes clusters, or whether it is Jenkins, or whether it is a Docker, you can post that things there, and we can interact together there in the Telegram group. Okay, so this is the class today, and I want to say again, I am remembering for you, this sessions will be moved to 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and we are going to move to like from like after 4 to 5 days, we are going to move to 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Okay, then yeah, that's what I can give the information now. Yeah, and please go ahead and register for the course, and yeah, if you have any questions you can ask, and if not, we will meet in the next class.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you.